Consider this. You have an HTTP API, which is integrated with an AWS Lambda function and deployed with the Amazon API gateway. Now, you create a GET method and you want to extract query string parameters from the API URL. How do you do this using a Lambda function? Let's find out. Let's start by navigating to the Lambda service, then click on Create Function and give it a name. Choose Python from the Runtime dropdown, hit Create, then scroll down to the Code Source section. Here, I'm going to extract query string parameters from my event as referenced in this AWS guide, then hit Deploy. Next, let's navigate to the API Gateway service, then hit Create API. Click on Build in the HTTP API section, hit Add Integration, then choose Lambda. Select the Lambda function we just created and leave the version to 2.0, then give your API a name. Next, select Get from the Method dropdown, then choose a resource path and hit Next. I'm going to leave the default stage to $default with auto deploy, then hit Next. Hit Create, then copy your invoke URL and paste it in a browser. Let's add a query string parameter called firstname at the end of the URL, then hit Return. Looks like our function is working as expected. Next, let's try to add one more parameter to the URL and see if that also gets printed in the browser's output. Next, let's head back to the Lambda window and create two variables, first name and last name, to capture the query string parameter values. This will allow us to create a more meaningful return statement, such as my name is Bond, James Bond. Hit Deploy, then navigate back to your invoke URL and hit refresh to see if your function is working as expected. There you have it. But before you go, here's a question for you. Why did the bug refuse to go near the AWS Lambda function?